Hello everyone. Course BSc Subject Physics, Paper Semiconductor Devices, Digital Electronics, Laser and Fiber Optics. Subtopic Introduction to Semiconductors, presented by Bommalinga B, Assistant Professor, Srimati Sri YER Government First Aid College, Pavagada. Introduction. Electronics is one of the most important branch of physics which has its impact very obvious in our daily life. All of us are aware of electronic entertainment systems like television, video, tape recorder, etc. Communication systems like telephone, pager, satellite, communication, etc. Medical diagnostic systems like electrocardiogram, ECG, various scanners, etc. All these systems use devices like transistors, diodes, light emitting diodes, integrated circuits, chips, etc. These are all made up of a material called semiconductor. In order to understand the various aspects of semiconductors, let us study about these semiconductors, their types and behavior in this lesson. Atomic structure. We have learnt that all materials are made up of atoms. An atom consists of a small nucleus in the center. It contains protons and neutrons. Protons are positively charged particles. Neutrons have no charge at all. Outside the nucleus, there are electrons. These are negatively charged particles. You have read about Bohr's postulates. So, you can recall that the electrons revolve round the nucleus in well-defined orbits. Atoms of different elements have different number of electrons. So, here the figure represents, so here silicon has 14 electrons and germanium has 32 electrons. So the according to Pauli's exclusion principle, the electrons are distributed like this. So in the first shell there are 2 electrons. In the second shell there are 8 electrons. In the fourth shell there are 4 electrons. So therefore it is half filled. The outermost shell is half filled and the rest of the three shells are fully filled. So in this also there are 32 electrons, germanium also 32 electrons. So first shell is completely filled and the second shell is also completely filled and third shell is also completely filled and fourth shell is half filled. That means there are only 4 electrons are available in outermost electrons. Atomic structure. The negative charge of an electron is exactly equal and opposite to the positive charge of the protons. In a neutral atom, the number of electrons is equal to the number of protons. The electrons in the orbits close to the nucleus are tightly bound as compared to these, the electrons in the outermost orbit are loosely bound. So these electrons located in the outermost orbit are called the valence electrons. The electrical and chemical properties of an element are largely determined by these electrons. Energy levels. The different orbits of electrons have different but fixed energies. So these energies depend upon their distance from the nucleus and governed by specific quantum numbers. So these can be represented as first energy level, n equals 1 and n is equal to 2 is the second energy level and so on. N is equal to 3, n is equal to 4 and so on. So the energy possessed by electrons in atoms is a very small amount. It is measured in the units of electron volt. That can be represented by EV, which is a small unit of energy. 1 electron volt is the energy acquired by an electron when it is accelerated through a potential difference of 1 volt. and its value in joules is 1.602 into 10 power minus 19 joule. Energy bands. We know that in a crystal of some element there are a very large number of atoms of the order of 10 power 23, that is Avogadro number of molecules or maybe atoms or moles. So also these atoms are very close together. So as the atoms are brought closer, they interact with each other. As the result of interatomic interaction, there is a splitting of each individual energy level into multiple levels. The net result is that each energy level of an isolated atom now spreads into a band of energy. These bands contain large number of discrete but closely spaced energy levels and can be considered as essentially continuous. An electron in the crystal can possess only that energy which falls within one of these bands. A group of large number of very closely spaced energy levels in a definite small energy range is called energy band. So here the energy band diagram. So here, so in an atom, these are the energy levels. These are the number. Here there are number of atoms are there. There are many bands are there. So bands are composed of closely spaced orbitals. Here the spacing between the two energy levels is given by 10 power minus 22 electron volts. Here conduction band. Conduction, there are a formation of bands. So here conduction band, band gap and valency band. So valency energy can be represented by EV and conduction energy can be represented as EC. Here the topmost level is known as conduction band and the next level is band gap and the next level is that means bottom level of the material is valency band. So that is valency. There are three bands are there. So here the energy is taken along the y-axis and the interatomic distance is taken along the x-axis. So these are the formation of bands. Formation of bands and here S and P are the orbitals. SP, SPD, F orbitals like that according to the principal quantum number that can be referred by Pauli's exclusion principle. So energy bands that means can be broadly classified into three categories. One is valency band and another one is conduction band and another one is band gap. So here valency band, the outermost filled band occupied by valence electrons is called the valency band. So this is the highest occupied band. It may be either completely filled or partially filled with electrons but can never be empty. An energy band occupied by valence electrons is called valence band, conduction band. It is generally empty or partially filled. It may also be defined as the lowest unfilled energy band. On acquiring sufficient energy, valence electrons may leave the valency band and come to the conduction band. So these are almost free or only weakly held to the nucleus and are called the conduction electrons. These electrons can move freely in the conduction band and conduct electric current. So that is why they are called conduction electrons. An energy band occupied by conduction electrons which can move freely in a solid is called conduction band. These energy bands are separated by regions of energy in which no energy level exists. Therefore, no electron can be found in these energy regions. These regions are therefore forbidden energy regions called a band gap or energy gap, e.g. A range of forbidden energies between two allowed bands of energy is known as band gap or energy gap. Semiconductors. So solids are further classified into three types, viz. Conductors, insulators and semiconductors. Conductors are the materials that permit flow of electrons are called conductors. Example, gold, silver, copper, etc. Insulators are the materials that resist to flow of electrons are called insulators. Example, rubber, glass, Teflon, mica, etc. Semiconductors are the materials that means whose conductivity falls between those of conductors and insulators are called semiconductors. Semiconductors are characterized by a narrow energy gap, e.g. 1 electron volt. And conductors have, there is no energy gap. There is no energy gap. That means the two bands are overlapped here. And insulators, that means the gap is very large. Insulators, the band gaps, that means the difference between the energy gap, the difference between the valency band and conduction band is very narrow. So that's why that means very large. So semiconductors, materials whose conductivity falls between those of conductors and insulators are called semiconductors. That means the energy gap is very narrow, that is 1 electron volt. So between the valency band and conduction band. Introduction to semiconductor devices. At absolute 0, that means T is equal to 0 Kelvin, all states, energy states in the valency band are full and all states in the conduction band are empty. On overlapping the electric field, valence electrons that they could cross the energy gap, that means Eg, and enter the conduction band. Hence, pure semiconductors are insulators at low temperatures. Semiconductor devices, that is continued. So here these free electrons and the positive holes created in the valency band can move about even under a small applied field. At 0 Kelvin, all electrons are tightly bound in the bands and the crystal is a perfect insulator. At higher temperatures, due to vibrations of lattice atoms, some valence electrons move from valency band to the conduction band, leaving behind holes in the valency band. So here the semiconductor band structure. So the diagram represents there are three bands. Here conduction band, a band gap and valency band. So here the energy is taken along the x-axis and the interatomic distance is taken along the interatomic distance is taken along the x-axis and energy is taken along the y-axis. Here so the valency band is completely filled bands. That means electrons are fully filled with these shells. And here the conduction band is maybe empty or fully filled or maybe off filled. So here the Fermi energy is the topmost level of the topmost level is known as Fermi energy. Fermi energy at 0 degree Kelvin is known as Fermi energy, that is lies between the conduction band and the valency band. That is known as band gap. Here there is a band gap. So the forbidden band gap. So conduction band and valency band. Types of semiconductors. Semiconductors are primarily of two types. So intrinsic semiconductor and extrinsic semiconductor. Intrinsic semiconductors are the conductors. So it has equal number of electrons and holes. So the intrinsic semiconductor, it is also known as undoped semiconductor. So the electrical conductivity can be increased by doping of the substances into the intrinsic semiconductor. Here extrinsic semiconductor is very important for us. So semiconductors are materials that possesses the unique ability to control the flow of their charge carriers making them valuable in applications like cell phones, computers, and TVs. An extrinsic semiconductor is a material with impurities introduced into a crystal lattice. The goal of these impurities is to change the electrical properties of the material, specifically increasing its conductivity. Today, extrinsic semiconductors are a part of innovative modern technology devices, including efficient solid state lighting and renewable energy such as light emitting diodes, solar cells, lasers, and insulators. Extrinsic semiconductors. In extrinsic semiconductors, the electrical properties of the conductivity can be altered significantly by addition of certain impurity atoms. The process is called doping, and such material is known as extrinsic semiconductors. Here, the number of holes is not equal to the number of electrons. So, there are two types of extrinsic semiconductors. One is N-type semiconductors and P-type semiconductors. So references. So these are the books which can be read further information. And thank you.